days, 15 minutes a day. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Now it is live streamed. Yeah. So let us start Vande Gurum to all the participants. Our chief guest and resource person, Mr. Alan, our moderator, all our CEIR family members. Let us start with the prayer. A short video of CEIR.
Center for Educational Initiatives and Research, CEIR Global Trust, was started in 2009 with a vision to facilitate the evolution of positive and progressive schools through a passionate community of practice and emerge as the most trusted organization for educators across India and Indian schools globally. Its mission is to improve the overall K-12 school culture and performance by empowering all stakeholders using latest research and practices in education. CEIR has conducted many extraordinary programs for the target groups right from K1 to K12. The ultimate aim of CEIR is to create a CEIR Center of Excellence by 2030. A perfect home away from home to hold its members.
My success is for handwriting. My success is for handwriting.
All the activities of CEIR is supported by Veda Handwriting Lab. Veda offers multiple programs backed by scientific research for students and teachers. At Veda Handwriting Lab, we say good or bad handwriting is an existing myth. There is only trained or untrained handwriting. To make it possible, Veda Handwriting Lab has developed a training device called Manicule Memory Board for faster and long-lasting results among students and teachers. We have specific programs for teachers, students, and the schools.
My success is for handwriting. My success is for handwriting.
Vande Guru.
So Vande Gurum once again, and let me officially start this program. Today we have a wonderful resource person and a wonderful moderator also. Let me first introduce the moderator. We all know she have already taken a successful session a few weeks back. Mrs. Pooja Bose, she is the principal of the high range school Munnar. It is owned by the Tatas. And a person with wonderful experience, a resource person, I invite Pooja ma'am to take care of the further proceedings. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sreesan. And good evening to one and all present here. Once again, it's indeed a great pleasure to be amongst all of you. It is said by His Highness Dalai Lama that we can never obtain peace in the outer world until we make peace with ourselves. All of us ultimately strive for a happier life, for a more fulfilling life, we all wish to have a deeper understanding of what this life is all about. We need a journey of self-discovery, of contentment. We all strive for love and connections. I was trying to understand what could be today's topic and its content, and I was reminded about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which begins with physiological needs at the bottom of the pyramid, then to safety, then to love and belongingness, and then to self-esteem or esteem, and then finally to self-actualization. We are all on that journey, and all of us internally know exactly where we stand and at which level of the pyramid our life is and where are we going. Well, it's indeed an honor to have with us Mr. Alan Carvalho, who is the director of Fourth Estate Limited, Bangalore, Karnataka. Mr. Alan has a long stint with the leading media group at Bangalore, spanning 34 years. He began his career in the HR function and moved on to assume charge as the profit center head at the private printing division as a general manager. He is now designated as full-time director at Fourth Estate Limited, a company entrusted with printing of the Times Group publications at Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Thiruvananthapuram. He's also a sought-after behavioral trainer and often gives guest lectures and conducts training programs at leading management institutes, companies, colleges, and schools. The unique nature of these training programs is that they are original, with the design, content, and delivery being based on his long years of managerial experience. Apart from all these activities, he's also an accomplished musician and plays keyboard and guitar. And today we are going to spend some very fruitful, session. We are going to spend today's session deliberating about what it is to recraft ourselves from where to where. And I hand over the dais to Mr. Alan.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Pooja, ma'am. Thank you so much. Share my screen with you all. Hello, everyone. At the outset, I would like to place on record my sincere thanks to CEIR for having accorded this great opportunity for me this afternoon to share my thoughts in the form of this small module with you all. Thanks also to each and every one of you for having set aside your time, that too on a weekend, to be a part of this session. I'm sure that all of you are by now probably able to smell the fragrance of these beautiful flowers as they sway so majestically. Are you able to see the sway? Yeah. So our topic for today, as we all know, is to recraft ourselves. To ensure that all of us are on the same page, any thoughts on what it is to recraft ourselves? Or what do you think is the meaning of recraft or recrafting? I would invite you all to use the chat mode and perhaps share what is your understanding of recraft, so that we establish a clear understanding of this word before we move on. You can come on the chat mode and share what you think is recrafting. Anybody? A new me, okay. No idea, fine. Improve and rediscover our skills, okay. Anybody else? Modifying ways to reach goals, fine. Understand more about oneself. Yeah, you're warming up to the idea. To improve ourselves, yeah. Implementing new creative ideas, fine. Being strong, recreate, making, shaping, upgrade the needs of the present world. Wow, wonderful. Thanks for being a part of this understanding. So just to recap, recraft is to make something anew or to apply new or different approaches, or sometimes you can even think recrafting is nothing but thinking outside the box. In fact, ideally for a session such as this, we should all have perhaps met at the CEIR headquarters at Thiruvananthapuram. But alas, with the ongoing pandemic, this seems to be standing in our way. Anyway, let us not fret, as I have created something special that would make our experience as near to being together at Thiruvananthapuram as possible. A kind of a virtual reality, if you may call so. So here we go. I'm sure every one of you would have noticed the very attractive boards on your screens. They look beautiful, aren't they? You would have also noticed that the seating design has ensured the mandated distancing too during this pandemic times. So what are we really waiting for? Let's board these beautiful boats. I would request Dr. Srishan, our local host and head of CEIR, to lead the way, and let's board this beautiful boat. Careful, careful, and off we go. As we set sail this Saturday afternoon, all of us would have to remember something, and that is to enjoy our ride. Enjoy our ride. Yeah, there we are. Wonderful, isn't it? Hope you're all feeling the warmth of the sun, the gentle breeze. Wow, what a beautiful Saturday afternoon and early evening for some of us. Please bear in mind that the attempt to recraft ourselves involves a great deal of work with our mind, or our brain to be very precise. Hence, it is very, very essential that each of you relax your mind and in fact, your whole self. Can you do that? Wear a smile, take a deep breath, and relax yourself. I would now extend a warm invite to each one of you. As you relax, to help you relax, listen to the lovely music too. Just enjoy, just get into that. Feel that you are sailing. Feel the breeze, feel the warmth of the sun. What a wonderful Saturday afternoon. And more importantly, we are all in this together. Such a wonderful feeling. Just enjoy the spirit. Lovely, isn't it? So while focusing on the music and experiencing the gentle bobbing of the board, let the feeling of relaxation completely overtake you. Fine. Once you feel the relaxation engulf you, you can perhaps send me a thumbs up on the chat mode or any which way you would like to communicate. Relax yourself completely. Relax yourself. I already see a thumbs up. Wonderful. Anuradha ma'am, Richa ma'am, Sweta Shankar ma'am. Wonderful. Yes. Yes, there we are. Completely relax yourself. So wonderful, so wonderful. Yes, seems like we are on a voyage together. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Go for it. Enjoying the journey. Wow. I see some smileys along with the thumbs up. So wonderful to have you all. Lovely. Thank you so much. With this sense of deep relaxation, let's now proceed on to discover something very, very interesting and exciting in the time that we are going to share with each other. I would now request all of your help, to take this forward in the form of a very short poll. Please note, there is no need to get tense or worked up. Don't let the relaxation that you have just achieved be spoiled. Please also note there is no right or wrong answer. Hence, do not fret or fear as you answer the questions in the simple poll. In fact, this has been designed to better drive home the point that we intend to tackle today. Let me just share this poll with you. It would appear on screen and you could begin the process. Yeah. Are you able to see the poll on the chat mode? Can you see the poll? Yes. I will launch the poll.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there you are. So I would request you all to begin by answering this short little poll, and then I'll give you a couple of minutes. The music will continue to play. Relax and enjoy this moment. We are all in this together, remember. Yeah, go ahead. The first question, if you're running a race, what thoughts do you keep in mind? Answer it. Okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, go ahead. Imagine you're going on a holiday. What thoughts do you keep in your mind? Will be enjoyable, will be tiring, whatever. You plan to get into a fitness regime. Why do you do it? Lovely. Wonderful to see so many of you participating in it. Here is the boss question. You're assigned additional responsibility. What thoughts cross your mind? Okay. Lovely, lovely. You're on your way back from work. What thoughts are in your mind? Next, you're invited to speak at a public function. What thoughts crossed your mind? Already we have 100% have answered. Okay. Warm Saturday afternoon, thoughts of an ice cream. You're heading to a famous ice cream parlor. What thoughts crossed your mind once again? Okay. So I hope all of you have contributed your thoughts on this. And I would use this opportunity now to share the results. As I mentioned earlier, there's nothing right and wrong. Are you able to see the results on screen? You're able to see? Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Lovely, lovely. So I would request each and every one of you just make a mental note of what is there on your screen. As I mentioned to you, nothing right and wrong. Just try to take a mental picture of, what exactly have you answered, right? For instance, this question, if you're running a race, what thoughts do you keep in your mind? 29% says, I must win. I must enjoy running. 57%. I want to hear the applause. 12%. Please mark this at 12%. Okay. Imagine you're going on a holiday. What thoughts do you keep in your mind? Wow. Will be enjoyable. Tiring, just 3%. Okay. And okay, would it have been better if it not planned? Also, there is a 3%. Yeah. Fitness regime, I think it's a famous question. So why do you do it? Small 3% because others are doing. For my overall good health, wins. Time pass, 0. Wonderful. Here is the boss question. What is this talking about? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think we have kind of gone through this whole thing. And nice to know from the chat that you've enjoyed this exercise. Some bit of a fun also. Yeah. Wonderful. So just make a mental note of what we have just answered so far, right? All are comfortable on that? Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah. So we move on. I'll stop this sharing of this. Yeah, lovely. So now, my very sincere thanks to all of you for having participated in this poll, right? As I mentioned a few minutes earlier, let's park the results of the survey and move on. Okay? Yeah. Please note this very carefully, very important aspect. What are you actually seeing on your screen? That is the question. What is it you're seeing on the screen? Let me blow this up for you. You can come on the chat mode. This virtual situations like this, I really wish we were on the boat. We could have heard you all speak, but then you need to make do with the chat mode. So can you just come on the chat mode and let me know, what are you seeing on the screen? Shashi ma'am? Yeah, you said teamwork. Yeah, kids drawing, scenery, teamwork. Yeah, lovely to have a group activity. Kids are coloring. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah. Teamwork, creativity. Yeah, most of you are talking of teamwork, creativity. Once again, there's nothing right and wrong. Yeah. Lovely, lovely. Completing the task. Yeah. Sharing. Wonderful, wonderful. My thanks to you all. Sincere thanks to you all. So now, I would want to ask you, in this picture that you see on the screen, each one of you had different thoughts, right? So I'm kind of putting across to you all, how do you think the children have actually proceeded into doing what they have done? If you observe very carefully on the screen, you would find that there is a picture or a painting of a bag over here. What else do you see? There is a bulb. What else do you see? Sheer joy through activity. Do you see, yeah, compass, scissor, yeah. All things related to school, materials of art, stationery, school building, yeah. Go ahead. You see a desktop over here, computer, crayons, wonderful. So lovely to have this wonderful interaction from you all. Yes, painting, etc., school supplies, etc. Books, yeah. Wonderful. Thank you all, yes. So if I should ask you once again, how do you think the children have proceeded with what they have produced on the paper? How do you think they have gone ahead? Any thoughts once again in the chat mode? The person who drew that bag, what did you do? Did he suddenly come there and start making that bag? What do you think transpired in their minds? Somebody's guidance, divide the task, okay. Their own interest, yeah. Planning, yes. Yes, there you are, Sonali, ma'am, visualization. That is what I was really looking at, own creativity and yes, visualization. They began with visualizing what they really wanted to draw. Here is the word coming up on screen for you. Okay. It is not that they just took the crayon or had a paper and just started scribbling something out over there. They formed an image or a visual of what they wanted to actually produce on paper, and that's how they have proceeded. So let's just transition this slide and get to understand what this visualization is all about. Visualization, as you see on your screen, is the act of visualizing something or someone or forming a picture of it in your minds. Okay, I'd like to share some more formal gyan on what is visualization or the meaning of visualization. Here it is. So when you visualize, it helps your brain by sending a signal to your body. Okay. And through that, you start behaving in a way that is consistent with the images in your head. Okay. Just look at the school picture, right? They visualize that, sent out a signal to the brain to start picturizing how the school would look and proceeded by producing something that is consistent with the image in their head or their brains. In fact, that is the reason I was trying to get all of you in the group to relax as much as possible, because we have a lot of work with our minds, our brains, so to say. Yet another understanding is, for visualization is the practice of repeatedly imagining what you want to achieve in order to create and remain attracted to it. Yet another way of looking at visualization is the ability to create mental images in your mind. And when you do it extremely deeply, you are able to also hear sounds, smell it, taste, and other sensations also become a part of it. Okay. Now, when you look at your screen, all the explanation of visualization is there for us to see and understand. So let me ask you now, with this understanding, have you used visualization at any point in your life? Yes or no on the chat mode. Have you used? Sudha ma'am says yes, yes. All yeses, lovely, 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 lovely. Wonderful. I think we seem to be on the same page. Lovely. I'm sure you have visualized something as a part of your life, right? In case I were to ask you, what is it you have visualized for yourself in your life? Would you be able to share on the chat mode? What is it you have visualized? Or is it a secret? Yeah. Think about it. We said we have used visualization in our life. The next question is, what is it you have visualized? Yeah, peaceful, healthy work. What will happen next day? From 1 second. There seems to be something going on. Yeah, peaceful and healthy world. Many a times it's a secret. Very truthful. I know that. The dreams that come true. Yeah, an enjoyable purpose, enjoyable environment, peaceful life, etc., etc. Yes, it goes on. Yes, wonderful. Next day's happiness. Nice. So now, when I ask you this question, have you visualized anything at all? We all agreed and said, yes, we have visualized. Okay. On the chat mode, we saw some of the things that some of you have visualized. Just to give you some example, just assume that you are buying a new vehicle. So what happens to you? You obviously visualize yourself taking delivery of that vehicle along with your family, perhaps going to the showroom, right? The previous night itself would be perhaps a sleepless night, visualizing about your vehicle, the joy that it would give, maybe the envy of the neighbors, etc., etc. That's one example of how you visualize, right? If you're constructing a new house, I'm sure all of you would agree, we would visualize how our new house would look like, right? Always. Couples getting married would visualize life with their life partners. They would visualize how the marriage ceremony would take place, etc. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we human beings do tend to visualize various aspects at different points in our life. My next question to all of you, do you bring visualization to the job that you do or your career? Yes or no? A truthful yes or no? Yes, Arvind Sharma, yes, yes, yes. Overwhelming yes. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. So you're bringing visualization to the jobs that you do. Such a wonderful feeling to know that. Lovely. Thanks so much. Yeah. Similarly, let me give some examples of people who most of you would also know by name or would have perhaps met them, etc., who are known to have used visualization very extensively, or the technique of visualization, to really achieve what they've achieved in their life. For instance, all of you would recollect the person who won the first gold medal for India in the last Olympics. Who is he? It's a stupid question I'm asking. Who won the first gold medal for India in the last Olympics? On the chat mode, Neeraj Chopra, Mrunal Joshi, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'll give it to you. Yes. So when you are participating in an Olympic event, everyone would have put in the best practice. They would have taken care to do whatever has to be done, right? Some would have practiced much more than others. But finally, today, what is it boiling down to? Nothing but to visualize themselves in that arena. Okay. There are many other great examples like, Michael Jordan, the legendary basketball player, etc., etc. Now, as far as Neeraj Chopra is concerned, what do you think he has visualized at this Olympics? I asked you the question in the poll. Running a race, so what thoughts crossed your mind? So what thoughts would have crossed Neeraj Chopra? Just think about it. You need not answer, right? Yes, he wanted to win. But what is that defining moment? What is that something extra that Neeraj Chopra gave to himself? My dear friends, on this virtual platform, it is simply this. Neeraj Chopra visualized himself not only coming first and winning the medal, but something that spurred him to achieve what he has done is nothing but he visualized the audience cheering for him. And most importantly, the Indian national anthem being played while he would receive his award. Are you getting me? The power of visualization. That is something that really anchored Neeraj Chopra to achieve what he has really achieved. Yet another example that comes to my mind is when we look at the art of overcoming stage fear. I'm sure you would have come across a lot of students, children in the school or in society, etc., where they have this whole fear of coming up on stage, right? So how do you think we as elders will try to tackle this, right? What do? We may tell them, don't get scared, practice makes it perfect, etc. But then what is the most important or the best solution is through visualization. That person who is having the fear of appearing on stage is usually taught, besides other things, to picture himself or herself in front of that audience, to picture himself or herself where the audience is applauding and cheering for the content that is being delivered. And rest assured, that is the defining moment. That is where the change would come in, and that person is in a position to overcome stage fear, right? In all these examples that we've been discussing the past few minutes, what do you think is actually happening? Any thoughts here? Chat mode mein? What's happening? We said you're visualizing, etc. No? So what do you think is happening? I dealt at length with Neeraj Chopra visualizing the Indian national anthem, the child who has stage fear, bettering it or overcoming it. Yeah, looking at the future, dreaming of the future. Not really. I will go a little technical because that's the only way to convey what needs to be conveyed. What is actually happening, my dear friends, when you're actually in the stage of visualizing is nothing but changing the network of neurons or the networking patterns in our brains. That is what these high achievers have done. And in fact, that is the need of the hour for all of us. To put it very succinctly, I should say, this is what recrafting is all about. That is, changing the network of neurons or the networking patterns in our minds. I will also say this for a start. For this type of a change to take place, the change needs time to formulate itself. And this impression needs time to get set or seated in our minds or our brains. The more deeper the impression, the more deeper the effect. That is what we need to attempt. If you're looking at, you're visualizing your future, you want to have a peaceful, happy life in future, right? First is to bring it into our perspective, right? Once we do that, be aware that there is some change that is taking place in the neurons, the network of neurons, and then make it a point to let it rest deeper and deeper. Let that impression get deeper, and then you will find the effect is that much more deeper. Now, regarding the depth that I'm really talking about, let me give an example. You know, as children, when asked what do they want to be when they grow up, what is the usual answer here? Pilot, bus driver, etc. Some says doctor. Nothing right or wrong in this. I'm sure all of you have experienced such utterings from little children. Yeah. However, although this image or impression of what the child perceives, that is, image of the pilot, driver, etc., is formed in the brain of the child, it is not deep-rooted enough to form a deeper impression. Hence, they move on to other things in life, thankfully. Otherwise, you can imagine the number of drivers and pilots we would have had from the light of way. On the other hand, as another set of examples, the joys that we human beings experience, the success stories, the elation that one feels on having achieved something significant in life, as well as the fears and maybe the tensions that one experiences, will also lead the human mind to internalize such thoughts and leading them also to form impressions in our brains. They, in fact, result in altering the network of neurons in our mind. The more constant such thoughts are entertained, the more deep-rooted these impressions get. That's a foregone conclusion. Hence, the most important learning for all of us at this stage is what? The need to be conscious of this fact of what is happening in the networking of the neurons in our brains. And we will need to take defining actions. What is defining action? To simply keep our minds on what we want and away from things that we do not want. Okay? If we delve on things that we do not want, those impressions get seated in our minds, and that becomes a problem for all of us. Now I would invite all of you, once again, a lot of invitations I'm extending, not a poll this time, not listening to music, but then to watch this very powerful video presentation that I picked up for you. This is an expert view and reconfirms what we have been talking this past few minutes. The terminology used here is reticular activating system. The video refers to the year 2019 when it was made, but rest assured that the content is not outdated, but still very, very relevant. Okay. In case some of you are thinking, what is it we have got into this afternoon? How do I correlate this to my teaching, perhaps? Or how do I bring it into my institution? You will first have to ensure that you internalize these learnings yourself, and then I will handhold you as we go along, and together we'll define what is it we are really going to do, the plan of action for all of us back in our institutions. So here is this wonderful video. I will give sufficient volume so that you get to hear it. Yeah, here it is. Give it a good hear.
If you expect to achieve your goals, if you expect to reach your potential, if you expect to have your dreams come true, what I'm about to explain to you is mission critical. You must become a master at visualization. For those of you that are like, what the heck is she talking about? I did not sign up for some sort of meditation, woo-woo spiritual thing here. Don't worry. This is Mel Robbins. There's always science and research involved in everything that I talk about. So visualization is an extraordinarily powerful skill. You may have heard of the law of attraction. You may have heard of the word visualization. You may have heard of the word manifesting. I call it seeing signs. Your brain has a system in it. Here's the technical term. It's called the reticular activating system. It is a network of neurons all up in here. And what is the job of the reticular activating system? It is a filter system. It's basically a system that allows certain information in your brain and it blocks out other information. And guess who programmed that filter? You did. And so did the people from your past. And so if you constantly feel like you're unlovable, guess what? Your reticular activating system is going through the day, and it is going to point out every single piece of evidence that confirms that negative belief that you have. If you think that people don't like you at work, the reticular activating system, the filter, it is literally going to be looking for evidence to confirm that belief all day long. This is one of the reasons why we have such a problem with politics in this country. This is why there's something called a confirmation bias. Confirmation bias means your mind loves to read things that you agree with, because reading things that you agree with confirms your filter. Why do we have a reticular activating system? There's a really important reason why you have this. The reason why is if your brain let in everything. Have you ever looked at a Facebook page? Have you noticed how many words are on a standard Facebook page, and the ad over here and the ad over here and the ad over here and the ad and the news feed right here and the stuff up here and all this over here? If your brain took in everything at equal value, your head would literally explode off your shoulders. Your brain would melt down. And so the reticular activating system protects your brain by filtering information and only letting in stuff that it agrees with. So that's the scientific reason and mandate for why you got to get busy reprogramming that thing. Now we're going to talk about how you use visualization in order to start to reprogram the reticular activating system in your brain so that your brain starts to spot opportunity. Your brain starts to spot evidence that things are working out. Your brain starts to spot coincidences so you can build momentum. And it begins with visualization. So as you take your goals, right? So you've written down all these goals, right, for 2019. I want you to go to each one, and I want you to do a visualization exercise. And here's how you're going to do it based on science, because there's a particular way you have to do this based on science, okay? It's a two-step method. If your goal is to improve your self-worth, I want you to visualize what your life looks like and how you're going to feel about yourself when your self-worth has improved. There's two things that you have to do when it comes to visualization. You have to close your eyes. Truly, I know it sounds stupid, but I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to, in your mind, have a specific picture of what it looks like in your life when your self-worth has improved. You're going to see yourself speaking up at work. You're going to see yourself talking more about your business. You're going to see yourself leaving bad relationships. You're going to see yourself defining boundaries. You're going to see yourself going to the gym. You're going to see yourself taking care of yourself. And when you start to visualize the image of that, I want you to consciously, this is step 2, consciously think of the positive emotions that you're going to feel. I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel proud. I'm going to stand taller. I'm going to be so grateful that I made this change. Marrying the specific picture. Oh, there I am. There I am. I'm at work and I'm raising my hand. Amazing. I'm sharing my idea. There I am. I'm getting a promotion. There I am asking for a raise. There I am. I've just signed up another customer to my business. There I am. I've gone back to school. I feel so good about myself. When you do that, here's what's actually happening in your brain. This is the cool science part. You are training your brain to have a totally different filter. You see, your brain, my brain, it doesn't know the difference between something that actually happened to you, like the F you got in your test in 10th grade, and the things you imagine that are happening to you. Let me say that again. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the bad things that actually happened to you, the real memories that you have, and an imagined memory that you're creating. Your brain will experience you visualizing going to the gym, You visualizing how happy you feel when you do. You visualizing asking for that raise and getting it and how proud you're going to feel. Your brain, when you visualize in the way that I'm teaching you to, it encodes it as a real memory. And that's important because when you encode it as a real memory, it changes the filter system, that reticular activating system. And here's what we know based on research. The more you visualize things, number one, the greater your confidence is going to be, the greater security you're going to have about it. And here's the really cool thing. The more you do this with your goals, you wake up every day and you just visualize it takes 30 freaking seconds for crying out loud. You visualize having a great day at school. You visualize curing your panic and how proud you're going to be. What studies suggest and have proven is that simply visualizing yourself doing things actually develops the skill and helps you improve the skills, just as if you were actually doing it. And so there's proof based on research that visualization helps you build skills. And then finally, the other thing that's really important about this is that the more that you do this, what we know based on research is that the reason why you start to believe what you think is because you are reprogramming your brain. You are changing the network of neurons that act as a filter. And so the more that you actually believe in yourself and you start thinking and visualizing yourself speaking up, the more confident you're going to become, the more skills that you're building, and you're actually going to do it. And then instead of looking for all the reasons when you're sitting in a meeting to not speak up, you're going to just speak up because you're going to have changed the filter. You're going to look for opportunities. This is how it works. This is why this is so incredibly important. And so day one, I want you to go through all the goals that you set. And I want you every single day throughout the next 30 days, you are going to spend 30 seconds. Your dreams deserve 30 seconds, don't you think? You're going to close your eyes and you're going to visualize what does it look like in your life when you have achieved your monetary goals this year? How does it feel to go to the bank and see that balance? How does it feel to be able to write that check and take your kids to Disney World on money that you made? How does it feel to be able to rent your own place or put down a down payment for the house you've always dreamt of? How does it feel to be able to have saved enough money so you can quit the job that you hate and launch the business because you have achieved your goals? It feels darn good. That's how it feels. And I want you to just savor that, because what you're doing when you visualize is you're reprogramming your reticular activating system, that system of neurons, that network that acts like a filter in your brain so that it's spotting opportunity, so that it is helping you see evidence that you are confident, that you are capable, that you can do this instead of all the garbage you think right now.
Powerful, isn't it? Yeah. So you must become a master of visualization. After having gone through this video, and at this stage of our session today, if we were to answer the poll that we did earlier, would the answers be different? Please think about it. Any thoughts? Would the answers differ, or would the answers be the same? If I were to put out the poll once again, same questions you answer, what would happen? Few would be different. Yeah. Yes, some may differ, will differ. Yes, that's the learning. In fact, due to the paucity of time, we are really not attempting to do it. However, in an earlier experiment, the results were found to be completely different. Completely different. Hope you're all continuing to enjoy your ride and are still relaxed and allowing the new learnings to percolate deep into you. Look at the visual, relax. Let the learnings percolate deep into you. Wonderful Saturday for all of us. New learnings. Fine, we move on. What do you see on screen? Any evidence of the basketball missing the basket? And why is this? What do you think? Please share on the chat mode what's happening there. Goal, yeah. Every time there is a basket due to focus, yeah. Confidence. Somebody would say practice, etc. Isn't it? Yeah, aim, achievement. Yeah. Lovely, focus, yeah. Yes, thank you. If you look at the visual, what is it we need to really do is that make sure to score on each attempt, right? So in fact, when we look back into our classrooms, when we look back into our institutions, what is the central idea? We are trying to give a lot of knowledge to the children, experiences, right? We are also focusing on their wins in life. But the learning is they will need to score on each attempt. That means they need to put everything, they need to put the best foot forward to do this. I'm just reminded at this stage that we're talking of visualization and then score on each attempt. How do you think we as institutions, we as educationists would perhaps need to bring in this recrafting of ourselves and recrafting of the way we teach by bringing visualization? Here I'm reminded of my own life in my younger days, in my school days to be precise. I remember the teacher giving us all sheets of paper, and it contained the map of India, line diagram of the map of India. And then we were told, mark on that map all the ports of India, P-O-I-T-S, ports of India. So how do we mark that? By putting a cross or a tick or a circle, right? That's what we all did. For long years in my life, I kept on thinking about it and visualized the ports of India to be a dot or a cross mark or a tick, and that's what it was. Please think about this. If we are to use the modern audiovisual content, right, to drive home this point of what is a port, right? Maybe picturize the port in Chennai, picturize the port in Calcutta, etc. You can rest assured the teaching would be permanent. The teaching learning effort will be all the more purposeful. Yet another example, I recently came across one of our family friends who had gone to Goa for a vacation. And the little daughter seems to have gone to the beach. And this is what she said. She's telling the father, "Daddy, this is what is beach are. I really enjoyed it. It was so lovely to see the sunset, the sand, you know, the water washing through my feet. It is such a wonderful breeze, the wind, etc." It completely changed the perspective of the child when they visualized that beach, right? So I'm not saying it needs to be experiential, no doubt. It is not necessary that if you are teaching something as far as NASA is concerned, space, I am not saying that you'll have to take all the children to NASA or the space, right? But then if we can teach them visualization, if we ourselves visualize what is it that we are teaching, the experience will definitely be very, very fulfilling. In preparation for this module, I've been talking to a lot of people, also been doing some bit of experimentation to just conclude what is it that I really need to talk about. I talked to a group of teachers and we were discussing, children need to be happy, right? So we are communicating to the children, be happy. So what do? Is it enough just going to the board, the blackboard or the whiteboard and writing happy, be happy? Is that sufficient? What would happen is, if I am the teacher, I would have to experience that happiness and convey that to the class. And that will only come when I visualize happiness for myself. You would be aware that many of the business schools organize pre-employment internships, isn't it? Why are these pre-employment internships so necessary or in fact mandatory? It is because in the classroom situation, students are learning a lot of theory and also thinking or imagining or maybe even visualizing what it is to work practically. But only when they go and experience those internships, they will really conclude what it is that they're really putting their professional learnings into practice, right? Similarly, I think our organizations, institutions have visions and mission. We also have the motto of our institutions. Very truthfully, what is it we do with this vision, mission, and motto? Is it for something that needs to be printed and placed in our respective almanacs? Is it something that really needs to be put up on the school board? We need to think about it very deeply. If we are able to imbibe the ethos of our vision, mission, or our motto, experience that as a teaching community, have a brainstorming session with the head of the institution and the seniors and rest of the teaching staff. Brainstorm, get to understand what this central idea of our vision, mission, or motto is. And then with that visualization, that experience, if you can feel it deep within you and carry it into your class, I think things will be completely different. Okay. Similarly, when we prepare for class, what is it we do? We look at a lot of content, right? We pick on the subject to be taught. But I'm here to ask you a very simple question. When you are preparing your content, are you visualizing the classroom situation? Or are you just looking at the content that is being prepared? At least from today, we will need to change our outlook, right? Preparation for classes would necessarily be when we visualize the classroom situation. It will be very exciting and interesting because when you visualize you delivering that content in the class, you will know there is a naughty child there, there's a quiet child there, this is how the classroom situation is, this is how you will be delivering what you want to deliver, and then the preparation becomes that much more perfect. I'm not talking about gaining in self-confidence. I'm sure all of you are masters at it. I'm just looking at what would be a game changer for all of us, right? So through the inputs that we have seen today, these changes that we intend to inculcate in each one of us, we should be in a position to apply it to our professional careers also. Yet another example that comes to me as I speak to you We have the big events in our schools, maybe annual days, sports day, etc. So how do we plan and execute this? We put in a lot of hard work. I have seen that myself. Days and nights of preparation, practice sessions, etc., etc. But then the head of the institution has a vision, okay, how that annual day or the sports day should take place. Are we communicating that vision to our staff and those involved in the process? Is my question. There is no right and wrong. This is not a moral science class. But all that I'm saying is that if we need to, or if we are in a position to visualize and communicate that vision, it is not just the success of the program. It is the experience of the parents and others who come and partake in what you are performing in your school. It is the experience that you're giving to the children in terms of working or doing a program together. What is teamwork, discipline, etc. All these things will come in, right? So if we are in a position to have that sort of a vision, if you're able to visualize, this is how my school will function, I will communicate this down the line, and we all share that ethos. We all share that vision by being in a position to visualize it. Spend sufficient time when you visualize it, mainly because, as we learned in the earlier part of this module, you will need to declutter our minds and allow that visualization to sit deep rooted in our minds, right? If you're able to do it, I'm sure this will definitely be a game changer. Fine, we move on. So as you see here, galloping onto a trot is mandatory or essential, as we would have all experienced, right? So we will be also needing to inculcate in our wards or the children, basically, that we need to be really consistent and not to really give up. Why I brought this particular visual for you all here this afternoon turning into evening is mainly because, training modules or, sessions that we normally go through, I think it feels good while it is on, okay? And mind you, this is over the weekend. So what is going to happen the moment we shut shop at 5 p.m., right? After that, what would be the situation at 6 o'clock when this session would end? We will have to commit ourselves to really be consistent, not give up on the intended changes that each of us would want to experience. Okay. So I would like to now recap all that we have discussed this afternoon, right? And thereafter, you will also be happy to find there is a content which talks about steps that would lead to visual imagery, which can be also achieved through meditation, right? So just take a look at this and enjoy what we see. I'm sure the inputs are useful to each and every one of you. Now, after having gone through sessions such as this, I would urge each and every one of you to be very conscious about your approach in life. Okay. That means if you visualize the penalties of failure, you will lose out on life. Okay. And this is something that we should inculcate in the children at every given opportunity. Let us visualize a can-do attitude as against a cannot-do attitude. On the other hand, it is be wonderful if you visualize the rewards of success and really become a winner. Okay. With the children of today becoming the next generation of leaders, I'm sure if we as educationists keep the focus on what you see on screen, I'm sure we will perhaps have a different world in the future. A new generation who are not only confident, but who have focus on where it really needs to be. So I think all of you connected on this platform would need to be the change agents, and my best wishes to each and every one of you for that. I would also like to thank each of you for joining on this journey, and I sincerely hope that the learnings have been useful to each and every one of you. As you look at that visual on your screen, look at it very intently. Yeah. You must now be feeling the slowing down in the pace of our journey together. This, in fact, would signal that we've almost reached our destination. Having done that, I would request each and every one of you to deboard very carefully. Don't fall into the water. In conclusion, please bear in mind that recrafting actually starts with the thoughts you entertain in your mind that leads it to form an impression. Please bear that in mind. Recrafting really starts with the thoughts that you entertain in your mind, right? Hence, the choice is entirely with you on what thoughts you want to entertain, the duration that you want to keep these thoughts in your mind, and then even allowing it to percolate into forming or changing the network of neurons in your brains. So this results in either remaining at the crossroads in our life or taking defining steps forward in the realization of your own dream in life. Hence, it is very, very important to recraft each one of ourselves to have a better future in whatever stage of life that we are in today. You see this image on your screen. I would now want to present this medal to each and every one of you for committing yourselves to take charge, adopt or adapt the art of recrafting yourself. That would obviously lead all of you to have a better hold on your life, and thereby I would end by wishing each and every one of you all the very best as you recraft yourselves. Thanks once again for giving me a very patient hearing, and thanks to CEIR for this wonderful opportunity. And what a lovely set of participants we had today, contributing so many thoughts through chat and through the poll, etc. So I think we have had a wonderful Saturday evening. So thanks once again to each and every one of you. In case you have any thoughts, you're welcome to share on screen.
Thank you, Mr. Alan. This was indeed a very deep and meaningful session. You took us on a boat ride, and I think each one of us really enjoyed that boat ride. Alongside the boat ride, there was lovely music, and I think that part that was one time that we all completely immersed ourselves in the session. Well, most of the time we were talking about the various nuances of visualization. So now I would want everyone to contribute and tell us what they felt when they saw all these videos and listen to Mr. Alan, and what were your thoughts and what are your reactions. So now we are going to have an open house. So over to everyone.
Yeah, before that, I have a humble request to Alan sir. Please have little water, sir. Nothing wrong, sir. Actually, we know that it's not an easy thing. That too, you are not 100%
Sure.
well.
I will go by your advice immediately.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that those who really want to ask questions, please raise your that virtual hand. We will unmute you.
Actually, we can stop the screen share, Dr.
Yes,
Sreesan, so that we can see each other.
Yeah.
Better. It's always good to see faces.
Correct.
I agree with you.
So really, some of the videos were really very inspiring, and we felt, that it's time to self-discovery is more important than anything else as of now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can utilize. Ma'am, some network issue I could feel, Pooja, ma'am. Something.
Yes, that's why I've
no problem.
I've stopped the video so that
Yes. So, dear participants, we can spend another 8 more minutes. This is the best time you can ask questions to sir. Or if you don't want to ask, you can even share this in the chat box. Madam can read it for you.
Yes. I think Rajalakshmi ma'am wants to say something.
Yeah, Rajalakshmi.
This was really, thank you, sir, for a wonderful speech and wonderful input. I have I believe in visualization, and I have seen also it really works. And this is reassuring that this visualization will help a lot. And I have read the benefit of visualization earlier also, and so I'm sure that whichever area I cannot do, I think I cannot do, I'll try it out and I work it out.
Thank you, ma'am, for the feedback. Nice to hear that.
Thank you, sir.
Sunanda Pandey wants to say something. She's asking if few visualization practices for teens, if we could discuss some visualization practices for teens, some resources are available, or any website where we can get it?
As far as for the teens specific, there are websites. I don't have it readily available at this point in time, but I'm sure you will be able to see. But I think what I would like to respond is that while teens would have their own challenges during that phase of life, but I think it is very important to let them visualize a bright and good future, right? So this is something which I think all of us as elders would be able to guide them on. And once that is done, I think it will help them in terms of, giving their focus. Yeah.
Right. And Ms. Preeta also says that this is exactly what we all need. And due to the pandemic, which has created havoc, we need to inculcate the power of visualization to bring about new, renewed rebirth to ourselves. So I think, yeah, in times when things are tough, this practice would really help us.
Yeah, sure.
Dr. Sunita, you want to say something? Why don't you unmute yourself and speak?
Yeah.
I think Dr. Sunita Singh is there. Ms. Jasveer Kaur, you want to say something? Jasveer Kaur, you've raised your hand.
And in between, Vasundhara ma'am asked for sharing the videos, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. This was really a fruitful session with the help of recrafting ourselves. We can come out of our phobias. Sometimes we are having many fears that we cannot face the stage. And by recrafting and by listening this whole session, I think we can come out of these problems. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, I need to do a small announcement here. These videos are automatically uploaded to CEIR Global. That is a YouTube channel. So after this session, all the entire sessions, you can just type CEIR Global. You can access to all our videos and our daily mindfulness sessions, Saturday sessions, everything will be uploaded. Please watch it. Yeah, Harpreet Kaur ma'am.
Harpreet Kaur ma'am, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Hello everyone. Good evening, sir. Yes, I want to know is visualization practice. It's very difficult because our mind is very complex, right? It's easy to do this all practices or it to be meditation. After that, before the meditation, we have little calm. Again, the all thing happened. So that's what I want to ask. Is it very, because our mind is very complex.
Yeah.
And it's go back all this.
Yeah. Can I react to that?
Yeah, please.
See, basically, ma'am, it's like this. Mind is definitely complex. Living life itself is, we know the complications, etc. If you're looking at, let's say, meditation, the mind is wandering, etc. This is an experience most people would talk about. But I think what is important is that what is your final aim, right? If you're wanting to have peace of mind, if you're wanting to have the joys of living, the only way forward is to the route that you're going to chart out, right? So once you are able to deep root, keep that understanding into your mind, I'm sure you will have a better hold of yourself and not let your mind wander. Most people who do it from the depth of their hearts, so to say, and seated it well into their minds have succeeded. And I don't see any reason why you cannot. Keep the focus, say that today is a defining moment in the history of yourself, and you will commit yourself to make this change. You will commit yourself to recraft yourself. Sleep with that thought that you're going to recraft yourself. I think Sunday morning, you will find the answer for it. That's the way what it is. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your reply. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So with
Madam,
these, Yes,
Ma'am,
sir. You want to say something?
Dr. Sunita Singh has raised.
Yes.
Sunita ma'am, you can ask.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Can you be little louder, ma'am?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm audible,
Yeah,
sir.
now it is perfect. Perfect.
Dr. Sunita, can you please be a little louder? We can't hear you.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. First, I want to thanks to sir. Wonderfully session conducted by you, and we have learned a lot. But sir, today is my question is, how can we perform experiencing learning among the students, especially for 10th, 12th classes?
Yeah. So whatever be the age group of students, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think this particular session that CEIR agreed to conduct, I think if you understand the central idea about this whole thing is that all of you connected on this platform are all educationists, okay? You are all experts in your own field, right? So this recrafting that we are committing ourselves is to bring it into ourselves, right? Once you recraft your own self, you will be able to do that with your students also. In other words, as far as the students are concerned, we may think they're grown-up children, so what is there for me to really convey to them, or how do I really put this across, etc. But once we as individuals do it and experience the fruits of this exercise, it will definitely help you to find ways and means how you can communicate this particular change into your students. I'm fairly confident it will happen. Please make an attempt and you will definitely see the difference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Any more questions or discussions or comments? Because it's time, we need to conclude the wonderful session by Mr. Alan. I think the audiences, they want the attendance form. If anybody is supposed to.
Yeah, sharp 6, I think within 2-3 minutes we will share, ma'am.
And I'd like to thank Mr. Alan for this wonderful session. Mr. Alan, I'd like to thank you for this wonderful session. Excellent visuals, excellent thoughts, which crossed our mind today, Saturday evening. And I think nothing could be better than, starting a good weekend this way. So once again, thank you so much for your excellent, enlightening session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thanks to CEIR for giving me this opportunity. And thanks to all of you wonderful audience for having participated. All the best to each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, CEIR. Thank you.
Yeah, your feedback form, and I need to make a small announcement. Look, sirs, practical sessions you can see every day morning. In our mindfulness session tomorrow, we are doing the 131 days continuous this thing. There also we discuss about visualization. So please do attend it. So much connection is there with these two topics. So please do attend it. 15 minutes is an investment for your life. There is no fees for that. Nothing is there. But 15 minutes continuous practice, because in the video also sir clearly mentioned, you need to visualize at the same time. You need to find calm. Some kind of a little practice, a daily practice. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, sure.
So make use of this, this become a practice for you. Lot of our people are, getting lot of benefits also. Please do attend it. Sunday, we do it 30 minutes. The other days, it is from 7:30 to 7:45. Please do attend it. If you literally want some changes or some improvement, some progress in our life, some kind of things are needed. And I have one more announcement. This is a program. Again, it is no registration fees for teachers. Those who have not attended can attend it next to Wednesday. You can find the link in the chat box, I believe. And this again is useful for teachers. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I'm sorry. This, in another 2 days, this is going across India as a big project with Intel. Our, general convener academics, Madam Manila Carvalho, she is actually head of this project. This information will be sending within 2 days, most probably from Monday onwards. So this is actually called AA Ready School. So you get, again, this is full of, it is, there is no investment other than your time for this. Please do attend it. This I've already made. Yeah, thank you. Wonderful weekend ahead. So please make use of this. We have crossed more than 300 sessions so far. And in that session, I personally tell you, I was not absent in any of this. So I know all the sessions, except, 1 or 2 sessions, I made it very strict information to my child. You must attend it along with me. This is one among very few sessions, So, this is again in a knowledge for our next generation. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. And I thank you all the participants on behalf of all CEIR family members. My great thanks and gratitude to Alan sir. Though he was not fully recovered, he came and did beautiful. That too, I was even so, mesmerized in the sense, like, I was so happy to see. Yesterday we had a demo. I was so happy the way he planned, taking us in a boat, it's like a travel time, at the same time, connecting this entire process of visualization to our education system. Please do this and make our children, some benefit to our children. That's it. A wonderful evening to all. Vande Guru, Vande Guru. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Srishan and the entire team.
Thank you, Dr. Srishan. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.